Welcome, everyone. Today we are diving deep into, well, a TV show that just won't quit. I mean, Jersey Shore, it premiered 15 years ago, right?
Huh.
And it totally defined a certain kind of useful chaos.
It really did. It was a moment.
But here's the crazy thing, the paradox that really defines its success now. The revival, Jersey Shore, Family Vacation. It's actually run for more seasons than the original iconic show.
Which is wild when you think about it. Just unbelievable longevity.
So that's our mission today. We're trying to crack the code on how this happened. How does this franchise not just survive, but actually thrive?
Yeah, we're going beyond the fist pumps and the GTL. We're analyzing the two big narratives driving the show today. First, this idea of extreme relatability, marriage, kids, therapy, all that adult stuff. And second, the constant, unavoidable, you could even say manufactured conflict that seems necessary to keep the whole thing going.
Right, the drama.
Exactly. And we've got a lot to work with here. Recent interviews with the core cast, Snooki, JWoww, Mike, Angelina, fan analysis, articles, even some notes on production timelines. We're going to unpack how they pull off this balancing act.
And that's the real hook, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do you take a brand built on, let's be honest, 20-something debauchery
Oh, yeah.
and turn it into a hit series where they're discussing things like postpartum psychosis and like the anxieties of being a parent.
It's a massive shift.
So we're going to unpack that formula, what makes it endure, what are the real-life milestones driving the show, but also maybe challenging it. And we have to talk about this massive lag, this problem between their actual lives and what you finally see on screen.
Okay, so to really get the scale of this pivot, you got to remember what the original show was. Back in 2009, it hit like a shockwave.
Oh, absolutely.
These were basically unknown people. They put them in a house in Seaside Heights, New Jersey, and essentially said, go live your lives. And the chaos, it felt organic. It was just youth, zero inhibitions.
And the stuff they came up with became instant cultural shorthand, didn't it? Like everyone knew GTL.
Gym tan, laundry. Yep.
And grenades. That lovely term they had?
Yeah, less lovely, definitely derogatory for people they didn't find attractive enough for their club scene attempts.
Right, and the fist pumping? That went global. This was a show running on pure energy, like zero responsibility.
And frequent arrests, let's not forget.
Cannot forget the arrest. It was electric totally of its time, but you knew it couldn't last forever like that.
No way. It wrapped in 2012, and when they came back 6 years later for Family Vacation, I mean, the cast themselves had already changed massively.
They were famous adults by then. Many were married, had kids.
Exactly. So recreating that original anarchy, it would have felt, well, disturbing, honestly. Or just really forced.
And the sources we looked at really hammer home that contrast. It's staggering. They've basically swapped late nights at Karma for, like, detailed discussions about parenting schedules.
Or marital problems, big ones. Divorces, navigating new babies, infertility struggles.
And, this is key, a really public commitment to therapy, which is, wow, a huge departure from the original vibe.
Which brings us right to what the cast themselves say is their secret sauce, their key to sticking around.
What's their take?
Both Jenni, JWoww, and Nicole, Snooki, they consistently point to this idea of extreme relatability. Jenni's point is, okay, maybe the show doesn't have that same, shocking impact of their 20s.
Right.
But the audience. They grew up with them. Fans who were, say, 18 when it started are now in their early 30s. They're dealing with mortgages, childcare, the same stuff the cast is dealing with.
So the idea is we're all going through this adulting thing together.
That's the pitch. But, is relatability really the whole story, or is it just kind of the easiest angle? The sources definitely show they're navigating this weird identity crisis.
How so?
Well, on one hand, Nicole's saying things like, oh, we can still turn out, talking about moments where Jenni's dancing wildly or she's falling with my wine in my hand, trying to keep that old brand alive.
I gotta have some of the old Snooki in there.
But it's a really tricky balance. Mike Sorrentino, the situation, he credits their connection to authenticity. We stay true to ourselves.
Okay.
But they have to walk this super fine line. How do you stay true to your mature self, the parent, the spouse, while still delivering that high-energy entertainment that made the show huge in the first place?
Because the second they get too real, like just sitting around talking about school runs.
Yeah, exactly. Fewer boredom sets in. And that's where the counter-arguments in our sources come in pretty strong. Critics are basically saying, yeah, it's mature, but the old spark is gone. This new wholesome Jersey Shore just lacks something.
It's not that people want them acting like idiots again, right?
No, not at all. The critique acknowledges, like, it would be genuinely concerning if these people now in their late 30s, early 40s were still pulling the same stuff they did in their 20s.
Yeah, that would be weird.
The problem isn't the maturity itself. It's the feeling that the scenarios designed to create drama feel really artificial now that the natural chaos is gone.
The staging complaints. I saw those too. That was interesting. People pointing to episodes that felt, I don't know, overly produced, like kind of unrealistic.
Yeah, like the farm visits. Why are the Jersey Shore cast suddenly picking eggs or trying to rope a steer? It feels contrived.
It does feel a bit random.
Yeah.
Like, what activity can we make them do this week?
And it really highlights what feels like production maybe scrambling a bit. Their lives are separate now, different houses, families, businesses. So bringing them together for these vacations needs these increasingly artificial setups.
Which kind of undermines the whole authenticity thing they talk about, doesn't
Right.
it? If you, the viewer, start feeling like the reality is fake.
The connection starts to fray.
Right,
Exactly.
that you've got this constant tension. Be relatable adults, but also deliver the show.
But, okay, despite the staging issues and all that,
Yeah.
the sources do seem to agree on one thing, holding it all together.
The bond. Yeah. The cast's bond. Everyone, they call it unbreakable. And that core unit, that's the real currency, isn't it? That's what lets the franchise keep going, almost regardless of what silly activity the producers cook up next week.
That shared history is powerful. It's the bedrock. Okay, so shifting gears a bit to the specific milestones. Maybe the most profound evolution, honestly, is how the cast uses their platform now, especially around like serious issues. Mental health advocacy is a huge one.
Yeah, that's light years away from the original show's vibe, isn't it?
Totally. Jenni, in her interviews, she's very clear about it. She says it's their responsibility to show it's okay to speak on mental health, that there shouldn't be any embarrassment about getting help.
And she sees sharing their struggles, the good and the bad, as a way to support the fans who grew up with them.
Exactly. Because those fans are likely facing similar things now. And we've seen this play out in some really intense personal storylines.
Like Nicole's journey in season 8.
Oh, definitely. That was incredibly emotional. Virtually meeting her birth mother, Jenni called it one of the most beautiful stories I ever got to see in real time.
Wow.
And that level of vulnerability, you know, about identity, about searching for roots, that resonates deeply with people. It's far beyond surface level reality TV.
And you have to give props to Ronnie Ortiz Magro, too, right? I mean, his path has been very
tumultuous.
Extremely. But the sources confirm he's been really open about his struggles, sobriety, other personal battles, and he's transitioned from being, frankly, a source of tabloid drama to actually being a mental health advocate. He does speaking engagements now. That journey, seeing that process of introspection and trying to heal, played out for millions. It really backs up their claim of using the show for something positive.
It does lend weight to it. Okay, let's look at Nicole's big shift, because that really sums up the adulting pivot.
Yeah, Snooki's transformation is maybe the most stark. She basically quit that rowdy party girl lifestyle. Almost her first kid, Lorenzo Dominic, was born back in 2012. Her focus just completely shifted to family.
Completely. Her commitment seems unwavering. She and Gioni Laval, they have 3 kids now. Lorenzo's 13, he's into wrestling, baseball.
Active kid?
Totally. Giovanna Marie is 11. She's a competitive cheerleader, apparently even walked in New York Fashion Week.
Wow, okay, little star.
And Angela James is 6, so a full house.
And what's interesting is even though she's this huge reality star, she talks about really normal parent anxieties.
Oh, yeah. She admitted she gets real anxiety about leaving the kids for overseas filming trips, to the point where she actually let her passport expire for a while just to avoid it.
See, that kind of vulnerability, that bridges the gap, doesn't it? Between her celebrity life and, regular parents watching at home.
It definitely helps. But then there's the flip side. The reality of having a globally famous mom whose past is very well documented online.
Right. Her older kids are getting to that age where they're online. They're going to stumble across old clips of the original show.
Yeah.
Peak Snooki chaos. How does she handle that?
Her strategy is, well, it's kind of brilliant deflection, but it also raises big questions about authenticity.
What does she do?
She just tells them flat out, Mommy's a paid actress. They made me do that.
Wait, really? That's her explanation?
That's what the sources say.
Okay, that's masterful parenting spin. I'll give her that. But doesn't that completely undercut the whole authenticity argument the cast relies on?
Yeah.
If her own kids can't trust that the past reality was real?
How can the audience trust the current reality? Yeah, it's a fascinating contradiction, isn't it?
It really is. It's like the ultimate reality TV paradox.
To preserve the authentic image of herself as a mother now, she has to essentially fictionalize the reality star she used to be.
Wild.
Okay, switching to Jenni. Her career path is taking a really interesting turn, too. Like, seriously interesting filmmaking.
Yeah, JWoww, the director. She released her first movie, Devon, and she's apparently almost done editing her second one called Nanny Cam. It's a huge leap from, club appearances.
And the subject matter? It's not exactly lighthearted reality fare. Not at all. Nanny Cam deals with postpartum psychosis. Like, the delicate subject, as she put it, of a mother grappling with severe mental illness, maybe real or perceived demons, after having a baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's intense. A universe away from Club Karma, like you said.
Absolutely. And reading her comments on it, she's taking this incredibly seriously. She talked about wanting to make sure the film gives credit to moms dealing with mental illness.
It's a remarkable pivot. A reality star known for partying, now directing films exploring the really dark, complex edges of maternal mental health. Not many make that kind of intellectual shift.
No, it's pretty rare, and she seems really ambitious about it, too. She was praising Katie Cassidy's lead performance, saying her goal was to make the film 10 times better than they ever imagined because of it. She's leveraging her platform for something genuinely meaningful.
Good for her.
Yeah.
And even their kids, it seems, are carrying on that Shore family bond.
Oh, yeah. The sources mention Nicole's daughter, Giovanna, and Jenni's daughter, Milani Alexandra. They were born just months apart back in 2014. And they're described as basically being cousins, best friends. They've been playing together since they were literally 2 months old.
Oh, so the next generation of the Shore unit is already locked in.
Seems like it. The legacy continues. All right, let's talk about relationships, because the foundation of this whole thing, that core dynamic, it got seriously tested recently. I'm talking about the huge return of Sammy's sweetheart, Giancola.
Oh, yeah. Big moment.
And her inevitable interaction with her very famous ex, Ronnie Ortiz Margro.
The tension. The sources said it was almost unbearable at first. Nicole, who calls herself an empath, she described seeing them in the same room for the first time as the worst feeling. Said she and Jenni literally wanted to run away.
You can imagine just years and years of very public, often painful history bubbling up in one room. That felt like a truly real reality moment, not staged.
Definitely. But the good news, according to the sources, is that the awkwardness didn't last forever.
Thankfully, no. Jenni confirmed she's just glad that initial, super awkward hurdle is over. It seems like both Ronnie and Sammy have genuinely moved on.
To the point where they could even joke about the note.
Apparently so. Sammy even brought it up casually during a trip back to the original Shore house, which, wow, that shows some real distance and healing, I think.
Yeah, that's progress. Meanwhile, Sammy's building this whole new life, the future she always seemed to want.
Exactly. The show chronicled some really tough stuff for her, like her fertility struggles. But now she's engaged to her partner, Justin. And the biggest news, she recently had a baby.
Oh, that's wonderful for her. How are the others reacting?
Nicole and Jenni sound genuinely thrilled for her. They're saying things like she'll be an incredible and loving mom, but they're also being respectful, giving her space to bond with the baby before rushing in. They get how sensitive that newborn period is.
Which is nice. But Sammy's life changing so fast. That brings us smack into this huge production headache, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The inconsistent timeline problem. This is where, if you're listening, you really get a peek behind the curtain of how reality TV works, or doesn't work smoothly sometimes.
Explain the lag. How bad is it?
It's extreme. There's this massive delay between the cast living their lives, big, fast-paced milestones happening in real time, and when those events actually make it onto the show after months of filming and editing.
So what we see as breaking news on this show
Is often ancient history to the cast and anyone following them online. It really challenges the whole reality premise.
Okay, give us some specifics. The Sammy pregnancy example is pretty stark, right?
It's the perfect example. So Sammy announces she's pregnant with Justin in, let's say, February 2025. That's real life. Announced on Instagram, whatever. She's due around August 2025. Major life event.
Right. Time sensitive.
Totally. But given the typical Jersey Shore production cycle film, big chunks, edit, air months later, often splitting seasons,
Yeah.
her pregnancy announcement probably won't even air until late season 8. Maybe November, December 2025.
Wait, so 3 or 4 months after the baby is born?
At least.
Okay.
And if they split season 8 into 2 parts, which they often do, the second half may be showing more of the pregnancy journey. That might not air until the start of season 9.
Which could be when?
Potentially July or August 2026. So you, the viewer, could be watching her announce her pregnancy on the show a full year after she actually gave birth.
Wow, that's a serious disconnect.
And it's not new. The sources remind us, like Sammy's return to the show, that was public knowledge for 10 months before it aired.
I remember that.
Mike and Lauren's wedding was November 2018, didn't air till August 2019. Even Sammy's engagement happened early 2024, didn't air until December 2024. Almost a year's delay again.
So the implication for us, the viewers, is that any sense of urgency we feel watching these big moments is basically fake.
Yes.
It's entirely constructed in the edit bay.
Pretty much. When you watch that engagement or pregnancy reveal, the actual event is likely 9 months, maybe even a year in the past. It really exposes the challenge. How do you keep the illusion of current reality when the stars' lives are moving way faster than the cameras and editors?
Does this risk losing viewers? I mean, if everyone already knows what happened from social media.
It's a definite risk. Fans who follow the cast closely, which is most of them, right? They'll already know the outcomes. It dampens the dramatic reveal on the show. It becomes less about finding out what happens and more like watching a historical recap.
Yeah, let's watch the episode about the thing we already know happened.
Exactly. And this lag feeds right into questions about future filming, especially for Sammy now.
Like her commitment post-baby. If her newborn phase doesn't even air until potentially 2026, how does that impact her being available for season 10 or whatever comes next?
It's a huge question. The sources suggest she's likely committed through season 9 because they'll need to film her wedding planning and maybe the wedding itself. But maintaining this reality TV lifestyle long term, it's only really possible because most of the partners step up big time.
Right, like Gianni, Chris Buckner, even Pauly D's partner, Nikki Hall. They seem to be mostly stay-at-home parents or have really flexible jobs.
Exactly. Lauren Sorrentino is kind of the exception. She's got her real estate, skincare line, boutique, plus managing Mike. But even she and the other moms rely heavily on nannies, family support. It's a massive logistical operation to leave your kids for these long family vacations.
Especially with a newborn, it's a huge ask. So Sammy's future participation feels uncertain, maybe?
It's definitely something to watch. The demands are substantial.
Okay, so if people tune in for those sweet, relatable family moments, maybe the reason they stay, or sometimes the reason they tune out, is the other side of the coin, the drama. And that drama often seems to orbit one person.
Angelina Povernick. Yeah, she's pretty consistently the show's lightning rod, the perpetual source of friction.
She provides the spice, right?
Yeah.
The conflict the show needs to balance out all the, wholesome parenting content.
That seems to be her function, yeah. And the conflict between her and Mike Sorrentino, the situation, that's been narrative gold for them for years.
I remember that blow-up. Mike accusing her of not being authentic on the show.
And she fired back, accusing him of meddling way too much during her very public divorce. It got ugly. Mike even stormed out of that season 5 reunion.
And even when they try to make peace, it doesn't seem to last long.
Not really. The sources confirmed the bad blood was back with a vengeance. Angelina herself was teasing a big explosion before season 6 aired, said the beef with Mike was burnt to a crisp.
So she knew it was coming.
Oh, yeah. She basically said Mike would never not cause drama and warned that other ones were going to jump in and throw a lot of shade.
Interesting that she seemed almost resigned to it.
Well, her comment that she was just as shocked as the audience will be, that kind of suggests the drama maybe spirals even beyond her control sometimes, which just reinforces her role, right? She's the necessary chaotic element that keeps the otherwise mature group reactive and, well, watchable. Production knows her value.
But how do the fans see her role? The sources we looked at had some pretty critical takes.
Oh, extremely critical. The fan consensus seems to be not just that she causes drama, but that she consistently fails to take any accountability for her part in it.
The argument being she has a history of not getting along with basically anyone.
Pretty much. Fans point out she's had public beef with nearly every single cast member, even extending to partners like Nikki Hall and Lauren Sorrentino, the only exception maybe being Chris Buckner.
And what are the specific complaints?
They're harsh. Accusations like she never takes any accountability, that she constantly tries to lie or deflect when called out. Some viewers use words like insufferable or annoying. There's this feeling among some fans that her constant need for conflict just sucks the life and fun out of everything.
Wow. And there were even examples where production seemed to expose her.
Yeah, this was really interesting. The fan insights highlighted specific moments where the show's own editing seemed to reveal Angelina misrepresenting things.
Like what?
Like, she'd retell a fight story to the guys, leaving out key context to make herself look better or someone else look worse. For instance, making it sound like Sammy just randomly attacked her.
Okay.
But then the show would cut back and show you the full interaction, revealing that Sammy's comment was actually a direct and maybe justified reaction to something Angelina had just said or done, like teasing Sammy about Ronnie.
Okay, that's a crucial point. If the cast claims authenticity if there's secret sauce, but the main drama source is often shown by the show's own editors, twisting the truth.
It puts the whole reality premise into question, doesn't it? Like, what's the ethical line for production when they rely on drama generated by deceit that they then expose in the edit?
It's really complex.
Yeah.
Because you know that drama, even if based on shaky ground, is probably rating gold.
Absolutely. But we have to balance this critique with the empathy angle, which also comes through strongly from both the cast and some viewers.
Right, Jen and Nicole, despite all the fighting, they still express empathy for her.
They do. They've said they're rooting for her, acknowledging that she hasn't been dealt the greatest cards in life. This shifts the view from just villain to someone maybe struggling with deeper issues.
And there's a viewer theory about that, right? Linked to trauma.
Yeah, and it seems supported by some cast comments, too. The idea is she might be dealing with significant trauma, things like absent parents, daddy issues, finding her biological father late in life.
And the theory is that insecurity, that need for external validation, maybe causes her to lash out.
Right.
Because she's looking for love and acceptance she feels she's missing.
That's the thinking, trying to understand the why behind the behavior. And we have seen genuine vulnerability from her. Remember the episodes around her pet, Peanut, passing away?
Oh, yeah, that was heartbreaking. She called Peanut her rock and her stability.
Moments like that, they definitely show the complex person underneath the reality TV persona. It's not all just conflict.
So despite the constant drama cycle, where does she stand now?
Well, as of September 2025, the sources say Angelina is actually in a good headspace. She recently attended the MTV VMAs, and Jenni commented that she looked beautiful.
So maybe there's hope for a calmer future, even if production seems determined to keep stirring the pot around her.
It's part of that mature narrative, right? The ongoing journey of recovery and self-improvement, even amidst the chaos. Okay, let's shift to something lighter. The Season 8 finale sounded pretty special. It was the big 15-year anniversary celebration for the whole franchise.
Yeah, this sounded like a really smart production move. They brought the whole cast back to where it all began, Seaside Heights, New Jersey.
And they actually stayed under one roof together for the first time in the entire family vacation run.
Apparently so, which must have been interesting.
I bet. And Danny Merck, the owner of the Shore Store.
The legendary Shore Store, where they famously worked.
And got famously fired from constantly. He actually transformed the original store into like a venue for this big nostalgic awards show and party for them.
That's pretty cool. And they managed to surprise the cast.
Totally. That was key. They told the cast they were just going for a nice dinner, so they all showed up dressed up like Emmys level formal,
Right.
only to find a full-on event waiting for them. A red carpet rolled out on the boardwalk, their handprints set in the sidewalk cement.
Like Hollywood Boulevard, but
Yes.
Seaside Heights style.
Exactly. And inside, this silly, fun awards show just for them. Nicole said they didn't expect it to be so elaborate, but it was really cute.
Oh.
And Jenni was apparently really pleased that production actually pulled off a genuine surprise. She said it worked because they are not good actors when they try to fake reactions.
Oh, I see.
So they got those real emotional moments on camera. It sounded like a genuinely nice moment for them, feeling properly recognized after doing this for 15 years.
That's great. Okay, looking beyond the finale, what are the next big milestones people are watching for? Proposal Watch, still active.
Oh, Pauly D Proposal Watch is definitely still a thing. The recent trip to Jamaica was significant. Pauly introduced Nikki Hall to his home country. Huge step.
But no ring on camera.
No proposal happened on camera, no. And the cast seems to respect that it might happen privately. Pauly and Nikki are pretty private, relatively speaking.
Yeah, they seem to be.
But the cast made it crystal clear, if he does pop the question off camera, they expect to be the very first people he calls. Non-negotiable.
I can imagine. Okay, what about this reunion they filmed? Sounds like it was maybe more intense than usual.
That's the word on the street. They filmed a 2-part reunion, and the cast is teasing it as exceptionally spicy.
Spicy. How so?
Jenna said she was not expecting the level of intensity, called it a really good reunion, especially compared to previous years where things felt maybe a bit controlled,
Wow.
sanitized, and Nicole backed that up. Said the vibe was different, like everyone was finally being really open and honest. They actually dug through the stuff, as she put it.
Meaning they addressed the tough issues.
Apparently, the reunion host, Justina Valentine, usually tends to, tiptoe around the really difficult questions to keep the peace.
Right, keep things moving.
But this time, the word is, those hard conversations, the ones viewers have been screaming for, actually happened, which suggests maybe production is willing to tackle the deep-seated conflicts now instead of just papering over them until next season.
That would be a welcome change for a lot of viewers, I bet. Okay, future travel plans. Mike's got his passport back, right?
He does, which blows the doors wide open for international filming again. Big deal for the show's format.
Any hints where they might go?
Well, Jenni, embracing her sophisticated adult palate, immediately suggested Chile.
Oh, interesting. For the culture, the Andes.
Nope, because she heard about some big international wine celebration there.
Huh. Okay. Priorities. Still JWoww.
Exactly. And Nicole, despite her previous travel anxiety, she's apparently back on board for international trips too. So the world is their oyster, or wine region.
Sounds like some interesting trips ahead. And finally, a quick note on the actual next generation, Mike and Lauren's kids.
Right. Romeo, Mia, and Luna, they're still really young. Mike and Lauren have a very clear rule about them watching the show.
What's the rule?
The full, uncensored, original Jersey Shore discography, strictly off limits until they are 18 years old.
Firm boundary. Does he think they'll stick to it?
He wisely acknowledged that he fully expects them to sneak it way before they turn 18. It's the modern parenting struggle.
Totally. Can't police everything online, so what do they watch?
Just the newer, much more PG-13 Family Vacation, which, again, just reinforces that big maturity shift we've been talking about all along. Even their own family viewing reflects the change. #tag outro. So yeah, after diving deep into 15 years of this absolute phenomenon, the core insight really seems to be this major pivot they pulled off.
Right. They somehow managed to navigate from being these, anarchic party kids
Little chaos agents.
to becoming these really relatable parents.
Yeah.
Dealing with heavy, mature stuff. Filmmaking, therapy, fertility, everything we talked about.
And that relatability, that deep, often genuine connection to the audience growing up alongside them, that seems to be the life support keeping the current show afloat.
But there's always a but with this show. That wholesome maturity, it creates a vacuum, doesn't it? A lack of the wild energy the original show ran on.
Exactly. And the format, the brand, it can't really tolerate just quiet maturity. So production has to constantly inject friction, high-stakes drama.
Often centered around Angelina, it seems. She's the designated drama magnet needed to keep that market demand for chaos satisfied.
They're managing this incredibly successful, lucrative format. But the timeline issue highlights the strain. Their real lives, babies being born, weddings happening, serious career moves off camera. It's all moving faster than the show can keep up.
Which means everything you finally see on screen is, like we said, already old news. It creates this weird disconnect for anyone paying attention online.
It really does.
Which leaves us with, I think, a pretty provocative final thought for you to chew on. When does it reach a tipping point? When does the cast's actual undeniable adult maturity finally outweigh the market's relentless demand for that manufactured messiness?
How long can they keep forcing the friction when their real lives seem to be settling into something much more stable, maybe even comfortable? The big question isn't really if they can grow up. They clearly have. It's whether their audience, and maybe more importantly, their network, will ever truly let them.
Something to think about. Thanks for joining in this deep dive.